Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you may be listening. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast is a Heartland Conference Division III matchup featuring the Bloomsburg Panthers and the visiting Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes. My name is Jim Lesko. Alongside me is former Mount Carmel area captain and defensive end Dan Lesko. And we are coming to you live from Redmond Stadium on the campus of my alma mater, Bloomsburg University in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, where the Bloomsburg Panthers will look to do something they haven't done in nearly 60 years, defeat the Red Tornadoes. Now, Dan, that's a tall order these days, especially when the Red Tornadoes are on the road. They're 6-2 overall, but more importantly tonight, 4-0 currently on the road, and they've actually almost scored as many points as miles traveled for those road trips. In the first 4 games of this on the road this season, they've scored 177 points and traveled 188 miles.
Wow.
So Dan, what can the Panthers do tonight to keep this Mount Carmel area road show kind of back in the station?
Well, what the Panthers are going to need to do, they have a tough task in front of them, but they'll look to kind of lean on their defense a little bit. It's somewhat unorthodox. It's not something that Mount Carmel has seen this year. They run somewhat of a 3-3-5 defense, which is something that, as I said, they haven't seen all year. And because this offense is so run-heavy and the running backs have gotten so good at knowing where their cutback lanes are, when to take a run wide, when to cut it up early, it's going to be a difficult adjustment for the backs as well as the linemen for the Red Tornadoes. I'm sure Coach Dara has been practicing against it and studying it all week, but game speed's always a little bit tougher than running against a scout team.
And even still, all really valid points. That's only half the battle for the Panthers, and this Mount Carmel defense has been pretty formidable as well. We talk about what the offense has done. It's been prolific. Again, 188 points in 4 games, but in those 4 games, they've also only given up 40. Last week, they only gave up 13. And based on the result of the toss, we're going to see the Panthers with the ball first. So Mount Carmel will start on defense. So how do the Panthers kind of counteract that aggressive, overpowering Mount Carmel defense?
Well, the Panthers run a very unique offense as well. They run a wing tee out of the pistol set, which gives quarterback Jack Howell free range to kind of throw the ball a good bit. And they also mix in a lot of misdirection out of that wing tee. But you will see these guys spread things out a little bit. And I know with their talented receivers, they may put the ball in the air a lot and try to test these Mount Carmel corners who, as we know, will be locked down in man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, and speaking of the Mount Carmel corners, the Red Tornadoes will be without their do-everything #1 corner. It's essentially been Demko Island most of the season. Avery will not be suited up tonight, so we'll look to see number 9 Tyler Owens and 32 Dylan Pupo filling in that role. And as we saw them last week, Dan, they afforded themselves really well last week.
Yeah, and I don't expect there to be any, them to miss a beat this week. Obviously, not having Avery on the field is a big loss, but I think T.O., Tyler Owens out there, and Pupo are going to fill in well.
And here we are. We were ready for kickoff for the Red Tornadoes. It's going to be Chapman doing the kicking, and for the Panthers, it'll be 29. Gage Klinger in 28. Russell, it's a short kick. It's going to bounce and get past Klinger. Then be picked up at about the 9. He makes a couple guys miss, but he's going to be dragged down right around the 12-yard line. So a great play there by, that's number 1, Tanner Karicki on the initial hit, I believe. Yeah,
Karicki did a great job. Looked like he almost was able to get outside, but because Karicki got down there and was able to break down and make a good hit on him, didn't go anywhere. So this is going to be a not so great starting field position here for the Panthers.
Yeah, Howell will bring the Panthers out. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. And as Dan said, they'll run a pistol-type wing tee set. Howell will be in the pistol. He'll have 29 Gage Klinger behind him. Typically, it'll be Aiden Klinger and Jack Malatesta in the wings as well. And then this Aiden comes across the formation, and they're going to throw. Incomplete pass. Howell's throws wide of the intended target, but he did take a shot from number 88, Mike Hood, and we'll talk about him a lot tonight.
And wow, Howell took a big shot there, and it took him a second to get up off the turf. He was able to get back up and did a great job just getting that ball out. But the Mount Carmel defense did a great job kind of getting underneath their blockers and getting to to Howe in the backfield.
And so we'll see a little variation on the pistol already. It'll be 2 wide receivers split out. It'll be 88 Hawk split out to the right. It's going to be a quick pitch to Klinger, and he's not going to have anywhere to go. We'll see if he got back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be awfully close. It's actually going to be a loss of 3 on that one, so it'll be 3rd and 13
and
from the 10-yard line.
And it looked like John Ayers kind of knifing through from that middle linebacker spot, making that play in the backfield. Did a very good job, got in there quick, and put a nice hit.
So again, typically for the Panthers, it'll be Howell in the pistol of Jack Malatesta and Aiden Klinger as the wings. Owen Lewis is the tight end. Hawk will be split out, but this time they're going to go 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 21's going to come in motion, and Howell's on the move. They got a screen set up, but number 4, Logan Wills, that is, read that perfectly, blew it up in the backfield. It's going to be a huge loss, another 5 or 6 yards. So it'll be 4th and about 18 from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, usually in a 3rd and long situation, you see, you know, the team's usually thinking screen or draw. You know, defensively, that's what you're always looking out for, screen or draw, and they snuffed that screen out very well.
Torsten Harmon's going to do the punting, and he's in his own end zone, never a great place to go. There's a little movement here early on. Looks like the movement was on the Panthers side there. So we'll get a false start in half the distance, and at this point, Harmon can't back up any further. It's really just going to shorten the amount of distance this snap has to go.
And you see, Mount Carmel's got 10 guys right around the line of scrimmage. They're bringing the pressure.
It's a low snap, but he does a nice job to get it out. He's going to kick it in the direction of Pupo. It's going to bounce. Pupo botches it a little bit, but he makes the catch before slipping on the turf. He's going to be down at the 42-yard line. So all in all, with 10:21 left in the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes will start their first drive in great field position.
Very good field position, but got to give Harmon a lot of credit there. Under a ton of pressure in there and was able to get that punt out. Very good job on his part, but as you said, Mount Carmel going to start in some very nice field position.
So we'll see what the Red Tornadoes start with. Well, Dan, they start with what they always start with. It'll be their shotgun double wing. Reisinger's in the gun, Ayers to the left, Daukus and Widener in the wing. He's got a double tight in Chapman and Wills. Widener's coming across the formation. He's going to take the handoff. He's going to get up inside the lane. Now he's on the corner. He's across the 40. He's going to cross the 35, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, and that flag was thrown looked a little bit in the backfield, so it looks like that's usually in the area of holding. But again, we already saw it. You know, Widener looked to cut that up a little bit early and wasn't able to. Had to kind of widen it out, and that's what this different defensive front that we're seeing is going to present to these running backs.
So that's going to be the call, Dan. It's going to be a hold against the Red Tornadoes, so it'll be 10 yards from the spot. It's going to take them back across midfield into their own territory, so they'll be well behind the sticks as the hold was in the backfield, so it's going to be about a 1st and 5. We'll call that about a 25.
Yeah, pretty close to it.
But the same look out of the Red Tornadoes, as we'll see all night. This time Ayers goes in motion. Reisinger goes straight back. He's got a couple of receivers in a pattern, but he throws it to Chapman, who's wide open across the field on a throwback. He's going to be tackled out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So a big play there, gain of 34, 26.
Yeah, they love running that play. As we talk about it every week. Chapman, obviously Reisinger's favorite target. Big tight end, really good hands. And they set that play up so well. Roll out. Ayers comes back for the backside block. Reisinger's able to step up and deliver an accurate throw to Chapman.
Same look for the Red Tornadoes after the 26-yard pitch and catch from Reisinger, and this time it's a pitch to Ayers off the right side. He's moving, he's got some room, he's up in an alley, and Ayers is down in the foot race. He's got one guy to beat, and he's going to be thrown out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Make it the 4, Dan, so it'll be 1st and goal for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, and again, another great run there by Ayers, and a great block by Widener. Widener out in front leading that play, got the kick-out block that gave Ayers the cutback lane there to get upfield.
We'll see what Coach Dara opts to call here. The Red Tornadoes' first play in the red zone. First play inside the 10 and the 5 as well while we're at it. It'll be the same look for the Red Tornadoes. They'll move it to the left. So Ayers will be to the right. Widener and Daukus will be to the left. Ayers comes in motion. He takes the pitch, and it's going to be a race to the corner. He puts his head down to get inside, and he's in. And that's going to be a Red Tornado touchdown. It'll be a 4-yard run by number 27, John Ayers, and it's a significant one, Dan.
Yes, it is. Unofficially, that will put John Ayers' point total for his career over 300 points. And he will become only the 6th player to surpass 300 points behind John Veach, Brett Veach, Dominic Zavarik, and Wally Deal. So that's pretty good company to be with up there.
That is great company. That'll be Stellar on to attempt the extra point. We'll see. It looks like Tyler Owens will be holding tonight instead of Demko. It's a good snap, and the kick is up. It is wide right. So with 9:40 remaining in the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes will take a 6-0 lead here at Redmond Stadium.
And as we saw with that first drive there, Jim, you know, the little holding penalty on that first play, not really a setback. We talked about it last week. It was almost as if, you know, the penalties that they had were just saying, okay, we'll get some guys a couple extra yards, you know, on these drives. Mount Carmel had no issue moving the ball there, and the Panthers are going to have to try and mix things up a little bit to be able to stop these guys.
Yeah, and what we have, Dan, when you talked about John going over 300 points, you mentioned Wally Deal. So Wally Deal scored those points in 1921 is when his career ended.
Yeah.
So it's not just good company, but this is what we talk about all the time with the Mount Carmel tradition.
Yeah.
It's a name that'll go down now, and when we talk about Deal and Zavarik and Veach, we're certainly going to talk about Ayers. So Chapman back on, kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. This is a nice kick. It's going to be down to the 16-yard line, and that's Klinger. He's picking his way, but he runs into Chapman at the 29. Chapman's going to throw him down. So once again, the Panthers will be on offense.
Yeah, and Chapman in there along with a little help from Julian Stellar, number 24 down there. And that was a little bit better starting position here for the Panthers on this drive. So we'll see if they can do something with it.
So it'll be, again, we'll see a similar look. There's a little bit of discussion here. There's a flag on the far side of the field, so it looked like it was away from the play a little bit. We'll see which direction this one's going to go. Referees seem to be indicating it's against the Red Tornadoes, but we'll wait for the official decision.
We'll see what the call is here.
It's going to be a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Red Tornadoes, so that'll be a 15-yarder.
And this is not what the Red Tornadoes want. They do not want to be giving good teams yards. You know, that we saw this happen last week, and it actually propelled one of South Williamsport's drives that ended up getting them in the end zone. So Mount Carmel is going to need to kind of stay composed and toughen up on defense here.
So the Panthers come out. It's going to be Hawk split out way to the left. Lewis is split to the right. Howell's going to take it. He's going to go straight back. He's looking at Hawk the whole time. He's in one-on-one coverage with Owens, and Owens does a great job of making sure Hawk can't come up with it.
And I believe Howell, and I'm sure the Bloomsburg coaches said, you know, before the game, or even just seeing it on the last drive, we got to go at these corners. Owens and Popo, when he's in there. Owens did a great job, though, on the coverage there and was blanketed over Hawk.
Yeah, this time it looks like they're going to come out. The Panthers are coming out in a 4-wide set. There's 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Howell's in the pistol with Gage in the backfield. It's going to be Lewis and Malatesta to the right. That's Hawk and Aiden Klinger to the left side. So we'll see what the Panthers look to do here. They're spreading the Red Tornadoes out. And the snap is fumbled. It goes through Howell's legs. He does a nice job to get back on it just in the nick of time, as Nick Troutman was almost there to take the snap himself.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what kind of play the Panthers were trying to set up there, but if it was anything that would have taken more than maybe a second to develop, I don't think it would have gotten anywhere. So, as you said, a lot of pressure coming from the middle. It looked like Ayers and Troutman both coming on blitzes up the middle.
It's going to wind up being a loss of 5, so it'll be 3rd and 15. This is a more traditional wing T look. It's only Hawk split out left. This time they're going to bring Malatesta in motion. They're going to try to throw a little screen pass. The Red Tornadoes are over there. They're ready for it, and they're going to run it right in the backfield.
and it actually looked like Chapman and Troutman were both in the backfield. It looked like one of them had actually gotten a finger on that ball and sort of altered the flight pattern, because it looked like if it would have gotten out in front of him, he might have had some running room. But because he had to slow down and catch the ball, it allowed many Mount Carmel defenders to get up there and make a play.
Yep, so it'll be a 4-yard loss. It'll wind up being 4th and 19 from the 35, and the punting is actually being done by number 30, Cade Klinger. He had the first punt as well. This time the Red Tornadoes are more in a return formation, so it's a good snap and it's a high kick. It's a little bit short. The Red Tornadoes need to get away from the ball, but it takes a Bloomsburg bounce. It's going to initially hit around the 40. It's going to roll all the way to the 31-yard line. And that's where the Red Tornadoes will pick up with 8:06 left in the first quarter and a 6-point lead.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about Mike Hood, how often he gets in the backfield. On that punt, he was applying the pressure and just nearly got to that one. But again, as you said, good job by Klinger to get that one off.
Yeah, it was a really nice job. And again, the initial punt was really inside the goal line, so that throws off everything. Your timing, your spacing, everything. For the Red Tornadoes, it'll be the same look. Reisinger's got Ayers to his left, Daukus and Widener in the wing. Chapman and Wills are sitting in the tight end slots. And this time it's going to be a handoff to Widener, and Widener's picking his way. He'll pick up a few. It'll be to the 34. Call it a gain of 3.
Yeah, and a good tough little run there by Widener. Looked like he was grabbed from behind in the backfield and was still able to you know, kind of bowl ahead for 3 yards. So a good job of just getting something out of that.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting, Dan, is the Tigers, or the Panthers, they do kind of some different things defensively, but they're used to running against a wing T offense with misdirection. So they have a fairly easy time replicating it in practice.
Yeah.
That is what the Red Tornadoes do. And it's the same look for the Red Tornadoes. Reisinger's going to take it, and he's going to fake the handoff to Widener. He's going to try to get outside. He's got one guy to beat, and he does. Reisinger's in the open field. He's going to be dragged down from behind by number 23. That's Aiden Klinger. Does a nice job saving the touchdown, but not before Reisinger gets well into Panther territory down to the 38-yard line. So it'll be a gain of about 28.
And I have to say, Jim, we've been following Mount Carmel all season. That's the first time I've seen that play. That's a new wrinkle that Coach Dara threw in there. And that could be due to the aggressiveness of this Panthers defense. Good job of faking that sally to Widener, which they have so much success with. And Reisinger did a great job.
1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes from the 38. It's the same formation. This time they're going to fake it to Widener, and Reisinger's going to throw. He's rolling out. He's under pressure. He's going to be dragged down. That's going to be number 8, Cooper Thrush, doing a great job of really tracking that play from the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 5 for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, great job by Cooper Thrush, not giving up on that play. As Reisinger slowly got out of the pocket, Thrush stayed in pursuit, and eventually got the sack. Good job of Reisinger, though, just getting somewhat upfield to not take a humongous loss on that play.
So we'll see on 2nd and 14. 6:25 and counting left here in the first quarter. We'll see what the Red Tornadoes dial up. They'll flip their look. This time, Ayers will be to the right, and he's going to come in motion to the left. He's going to fake the pitch, Reisinger that is, to Ayers, and Reisinger's going up the middle. He's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage. He'll be well short of the first down, but be all the way down to the 31-yard line, so give him a gain of 11.
Yeah, and getting back on schedule here. You know, it's 2nd and 14, not where you want to be at, but 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, this is where Mount Carmel thrives. This is where they want to be. So, again, getting back on schedule.
3rd and 3. Reisinger has Ayers to his left, Daukus and Widener to the right, double tight end, and Wills and Chapman. This time it's going to be a handoff to Ayers. Ayers picks his way, but he's got nowhere to go. Panthers do a great job of sniffing that one out. He's going to be short of the first down and pick up maybe half a yard. So the Red Tornadoes have a decision that is at a part of the field, Dan, where it's really not a decision.
Yeah. And, yeah, I definitely think we're going to see, as you see, the offense not coming off the field. But one thing that I did see for the first time in a while, at least, was Ayers getting stacked up at the line of scrimmage, not getting any yardage. That's not a sight we see very often. So kudos to this Panthers defense up front for making that stop.
So the Red Tornadoes shotgun double wing, their bread and butter. Ayers goes in motion and they pitch it to him, and he's going to try to get this to the outside, and there's a lot of Panthers there, and he's fighting. He's going to be very close to the first down with his forward progress.
And I think he might have it, Jim. That was a great job of putting his shoulder down, delivering a blow there.
Yes, he did, and they're moving the chains. That's going to be first down, Red Tornadoes. A great job by Ayers there. It's a great individual effort. Yeah, very good individual effort. And you saw this, the pitch was almost behind him a little bit, kind of slowed his momentum down, and he was able to handle the pitch well and get his shoulder down and put a hit on somebody to move the chains. So 1st and 10 from the 26, 4:40 left in the first quarter. Mount Carmel on top, 6-0. Ayers is in motion across the formation. Reisinger's going to roll that way. He's got Ayers out there giving him a little protection, and he finds Daukus in the flat, but Daukus is going to be dragged out of bounds. Nice play made by the Panthers. We'll let him get up there on the far side of the field. We'll take a look at just exactly who that was. That's going to be number 30. That's Cade Klinger.
Yeah, that was a great job by Klinger to get out there and make that tackle. As you said, he was chasing Daukus down from behind. Did a good job of making up some ground there and getting to Daukus before it was turned into a big play.
It'll be 2nd and 6 for Mount Carmel. Reisinger takes a look at the defense. He brings the team under center. Now the little bit of shifting on the Bloomsburg defense, but this time it's going to be a snap up back to Daukus, and Daukus is across the 5, and he's going to score another Red Tornado touchdown on a 22-yard direct snap.
And it looked like, Jim, that the shift looked like it was meant for that outside, that Sally play to Widener that we see the Red Tornadoes run so often. And with the shift, it opened up a huge hole for Daukus to take that direct snap. And it looked like he was going to get stacked up a little bit and then just snuck out and was able to get into the end zone untouched.
Stellar on for the extra point, his 2nd attempt of the night. Again, Owens holding for Demko. It's a good snap and a good hold, and this one's up, and Stellar drills that one. So with 4:21 left in the first quarter, Mount Carmel's on top, 13-0. Dan, what was interesting, I thought, and a lot of times the Mount Carmel offense is operating so quickly that we don't get to say everything we want to say in between the plays. But what it looked like for a few plays there was the Panthers were kind of sniffing out some Red Tornado plays.
Yeah.
Even the first down that Ayers was able to pick up, it wasn't for a lack of the Panthers being there. It was just a great effort by Ayers.
Right.
And then you see Coach Dara in the sideline dial up something that they obviously were very ready for.
Right, and it's a play that they run very rarely, very rarely, if at all. Had a lot of success. I believe it was in the Mifflinburg game with that run. Daukus had a touchdown on that run and had a lot of success in the Mifflinburg game. Haven't seen it that often since then. But as you said, dialed it up at the perfect time. Coach Dara does a great job of making these adjustments on the fly and sending these plays into the huddle.
So it's going to be Klinger and Russell back deep for the Panthers. And again, Chapman on the kick for the 3rd time already tonight. And this one is going to be high. And this one's going to be in the direction of Russell. He'll take it at the 15-yard line. He's going to come across the field. Tyler Owens is there, but Tanner Karicki puts a stick at the 22-yard line, and that's where he'll stop.
Yeah, Tanner Karicki in there again on the kickoff team. As you said, putting a good hit. Owens did a good job, broke down and made Russell kind of make a decision. And the decision was to go towards Karicki, and it was not a great decision on his part. Karicki, as you said, put a big hit on him.
Panthers come out. It's going to be Hawkins split out to the right. Otherwise, it's a fairly traditional wing tee, with, if you forget about Howell in the shotgun, in the pistol. So this time Howell's going to keep it. He's going to fake the handoff to Klinger, but he keeps it himself, and he's going to lose some yardage. The Red Tornadoes were in there almost as quickly as Howell was able to keep the ball himself. They're going to lose a 2 for 2nd and 12.
Yeah, and it looked like Cohen Erb in there along with Wills, Hoodie, and Ayers too. So a lot of Red Tornadoes around the ball there. This is something that they continue to do well. This defensive line, they don't get a lot of credit because the linebackers make the majority of the tackles, but they're always there. They're always there.
So 4 wide for the Panthers, 2 split out to the left, 2 to the right. Howell's in the backfield with Klinger. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to go immediately drugged down by number 88, Mike Hood.
And that sack, again, unofficially for Mike Hood, that's going to put him at 16 career sacks, which will break the top 10 list. So, and one more will put him in the top 10 for a season, but that's going to put him in the top 10 for his career. So congratulations to Mike Hood as well on a big achievement there.
Congratulations, Mr. Hood. That's going to put him in the top 10. It's going to put the Panthers back to the 17, 3rd and 16 they're facing. Howell's going to take the snap, and he's going to look. They have a little screen set up, but he's going to bounce the pass out there. He was trying to get it all the way out to Hawk, but he short hopped him a little bit, so it'll be 4th and 16.
Yeah, and as you see, the Panthers look like they're really starting to trying to dial up these quick passes where Howell gets the ball and gets it out, and somehow the Red Tornadoes are still getting in the backfield and putting hits on Howell.
So for the Red Tornadoes, as they prepare for the punt, it's Prokowski and Pupo back for Mount Carmel. And again, Cade Klinger, number 30, is doing the punting, so it's a good snap. It's going to be another short punt. It's high, but it's short. Prokowski's going to take the fair catch at the 44. And with 2:40 left in the first quarter and a 13-0 lead, Mount Carmel will go back on the offensive.
And back again in Panther territory, which is another great start for the Red Tornadoes for field position. And that's all due to Mr. Prokowski right there. It's hanging in there tough. A lot of bodies around him and making that fair catch and being able to hang onto that ball instead of getting that bounce. You know how the ball bounces on turf. It bounces crazy, getting that bounce and roll into their own territory.
So the Red Tornadoes in their shotgun wing, but rather than have the double tight, they're going to have Wills split out to the left, Chapman split out to the right, Daukus and Widener in the wing. Reisinger has Ayers to his left. It's going to be the inside handoff to Widener, and Widener's picking his ways, but he doesn't have a whole lot of room. He's going to pick up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 40.
And as I talked about pregame, Jim, this is what the Panthers' defense and their defensive front presents as a challenge to the Red Tornadoes. You see Widener normally likes to take that play outside, had to cut it up almost right off the center.
Similar look for the Red Tornadoes, except this time Ayers is going to be in the wing on the left side rather than right in Reisinger's pocket. And Reisinger is going to go straight back, and he throws a quick out to Chapman. It's going to be caught. Will be short of the first down, however.
It's a good job of Chapman by hanging on to that ball. He took a hit immediately after he had that ball in his hand. So great job hanging tough onto that one. And that was, looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd and short here.
Yeah, it'll be a gain of about 3, so it'll be 3rd and 2. We'll see how the Red Tornadoes attack this one.
Looks like Chapman's going to be out wide again.
Same formation for the Red Tornadoes. This time Ayers will be back in his usual spot right off Reisinger's hip. And they're going to fake it to Reisinger, or to Ayers. Reisinger's going to keep it. He's looking downfield. He's going to throw it across the middle, and he had Widener, but he airmailed it. It was a little bit high. It's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, tough throw there for Reisinger. Did a good job of stepping up in the pocket. Just sailed a little high for Widener, as you said. So it's going to bring up a 4th down. And this is another spot where, you know, I expect to see Coach Dara run the offense back out there and go for it. I
think what we've seen over the last few weeks, this is as much showing confidence in your offense as it is in your defense. I think even where the Red Tornadoes have not picked this up, they're comfortable with what their defense has been able to accomplish.
I agree with you on that, Jim, 100%.
So this is the Red Tornadoes' bread and butter. They're tight in the shotgun double wing. It's a hard count out of Reisinger. We got a little bit of movement, but nobody came across. So they're going to give it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to have the first down, and he's got more. He's going to get to the outside. He's going to use the stiff arm, and he breaks another tackle. He's going to be thrown down at about the 15-yard line. So great play call, great effort by Ayers, adding another 5 or 6 yards onto that run.
Yeah, very good run there by Ayers. Did a great job breaking through there. And you know, as we try and keep track of Ayers' numbers here, because coming into this game, he needed 52 yards to eclipse 1,000. So he's probably going to be close now after that nice little run.
Here's a gain of about 21. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 16, so that's going to be very close. We'll wait. We'll give him another run or 2 here before we start talking about exactly what he's been able to accomplish in his career. And he's going to get it again. He's going to go up the middle, and this time the Panthers are ready for it. he'll get across the 15 to the 14 where it'll be 2nd and 8.
And we see Ayers, you know, as I said on the last drive, that was the first time I had seen Ayers get stacked up at the line of scrimmage. And even on that play, a very short gain, but always falling forward, always trying to get that extra yard or two, which is what has put him in this great company that he's with.
30 seconds and counting in the first quarter. Ayers is going to get a breather. Kricky's now to Reisinger's right. He comes in motion across the left, and they're going to give the inside handoff to Widener. And Widener had some room, but a great play by number 23, Aiden Klinger, is going to drop him after only a gain of a yard.
Yeah, Klinger did a great job getting in there and swiping at Widener's ankle. As you said, it looked like he had a lot of room in front of him if Klinger wasn't there to make that play. So great job on his part, just, you know, being there and being able to get a hand on him and make that tackle.
And as the horn blows here at Redmond Stadium on the campus of Bloomsburg University, that signals the end of the first quarter with the Red Tornadoes on top of the Panthers, 13-0. Dan, what have you seen so far in the first quarter? Is there anything surprising, or is this kind of what we expected?
Well, I wouldn't say it's anything surprising, but I will say it's almost different. It's something that we are not accustomed to seeing since the last few weeks. The Red Tornadoes have had so much success running the ball, ripping off big plays, you know, play after play after play. And now the Panthers, you know, kind of making us actually put some drives together, you know, making the Red Tornadoes put together, going into 3rd down situations and 4th down situations and making them convert rather than having first down after first down after first down as the Red Tornadoes have had.
I think what we saw last week and the week before, too, if I remember, Dan, actually the last few weeks, Mount Carmel has really kicked it into overdrive in the second quarter.
Yeah.
They've come out and they've been successful in the first quarter, of course, but really it's where the second quarter is where they've separated themselves. They've been able to go into halftime with some pretty significant leads.
Right.
So I'll be curious to see if Mount Carmel's able to kind of replicate some of that success.
Yeah, and it's going to depend, like as we said, them ripping off those big plays is always stopping the clock, resetting the chain, stopping the clock for scores and change of possession. So having to put together these long drives is going to shorten the game somewhat.
Well, they'll start the second quarter with a 3rd and 8 on the Panthers' 14-yard line. It'll be the same formation. Widener comes across, but they're going to do the up back. They'll give it to Daukus again. Not nearly as successful this time. He'll be down to the 11. So the Red Tornadoes, with a 13-0 lead, are going to be facing a 4th and 5 from the 11.
Yeah, and we'll see. I'm interested to see if they go with like an outside sweep here, or if they decide to put the ball in Reisinger's hands, let him throw it. This is one of those positions where, you know, the Red Tornadoes have success doing both. So it's really just whatever Coach Dyer is feeling.
Well, they certainly look like they're going to keep it. It's the same look. You've got the two backs, Daukus and Widener to the left. Kricky goes across the motion. He's going to take the pitch, and he's got some guys in front of him, but there's a lot of red jerseys, and he's not going to pick up the first down. So great play by the Panthers. Looks like initial hit made by number 30, Cade Klinger.
Yeah, very good job there by Cade Klinger getting, you know, rallying to that sweep. That was it was to the wide side of the field. Kricky had a lot of space to pick up speed, and the Panthers rallied to that ball, and Klinger, as you said, made that initial hit and did a good job of stacking them up. So we're going to see what the Panthers offense could do here, backed up again. Yeah,
that hit will have been right at the original line of scrimmage, so that's where the Panthers will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 11. A lot of green in front of them, but that's an opportunity to rack up a lot of yards here, Dan.
Yes, it is.
So this time they're going to stay tight. And it's Howell, and he's going to hand it to Klinger, and Klinger's going to try to get to the outside. He makes one guy miss. He's got another man to beat, and he's not going to be able to get around number 28, Shane Widener. Is going to be a late flag that looks like it's going to go against the Red Tornadoes. So as it stands, it was a nice gain of 8 by Klinger, but they're going to add a lot more to that one, I think.
Yeah, very late flag. Not really sure what the call is here, so we're going to have to see.
So the officials are having a little bit of a conversation around exactly what they're going to call. So it's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Red Tornadoes. That'll be their second in as many quarters. So they're going to move it 15 yards from the spot of that foul.
And it looked like the spot of the foul was at the tackle.
Yeah, so it's a dead ball foul, so they'll move it from where the ball was initially spotted. So it'll be all the way out to the 37.
Yeah, and that's tough. As we talked about earlier, Coach Dyer can't be happy about that. I'm sure he's going to be having a conversation with these guys.
So the Red Tornadoes now tight up against the Panthers. The Panthers are going to do a quick handoff to Klinger, and Klinger's got nowhere to go. There's a lot of white jerseys there. They're going to drag him down. There's another late flag.
Yeah, thrown in there again really late, it looked like. So we'll see what this one is.
So as it stands, we'll see where they're standing. They're standing at about the 35, so it'll be 2-yard loss there. It's going to be a personal foul, face mask against the Red Tornadoes, so it'll be another 15 yards. So starting at their own 11, the Panthers already been aided by 30 yards in Red Tornado penalties.
Yeah, so again, this is really starting to look like last week, like the South Williamsport game. Not really sure. Didn't see the face mask on that one from up here, but you know, got to take the penalty. Defense has to really be stout now.
So now it's back to their base formation for the Panthers. Howell, he's going to turn around. He's going to hand it inside to 21 Malatesta. He's going to get across the 50. Call it the 47-yard line. So gain of about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Panthers.
Yeah, and good job there. It looked like Hood on the initial contact, staying home on that end, on that tight end, or at that defensive end spot. I apologize. Staying home there on that reverse, and being able to get his hands on him, and then having some help come in and clean that tackle up for a very short gain. So this is what the Red Tornado defense has to do. They have to be tough. They have to be stout now after the couple penalties.
Panthers are going to come out. They're going to split Lewis to the right, Hawk to the left. Howell will be in the pistol, and he's going to go straight back, but he's only looking in one direction. He's looking in the direction of number 21, Malatesta, and he had him, but it was a little bit high. It felt incomplete.
Yeah, that throw just a tad bit high and behind Malatesta, but as you said, Malatesta was open, just wasn't able to haul it in. So a little bit of good fortune there for the Red Tornadoes because Malatesta was open. But again, it's going to bring up a 3rd and long here, which is, you know, where the Red Tornadoes want to be defensively.
Malatesta does a nice job getting a hand on that ball, really, because Tanner Cricky was right behind the play. Would have hit him right in the stomach.
Yeah, he did. He almost played defense on that one.
So the Panthers are going to open it up a little bit. 2 split out right, 2 to the left, a single back with Howell, and Howell's going to go straight back. He's under pressure, and the Red Tornadoes are going to hammer him. First man on site is Jack Chapman, but of course, 88 Mike Hood is there as well. They're going to give him they're going to say they got him at the 44-yard line, so it'll be about a 8-yard loss.
Yeah.
Bring up another 4th and long.
Yeah, that was a ton of pressure. Howell had no time to do anything or make any decision on that play.
It'll be 4th and about 19 from here, 17 we'll call it. Let's get good high snap. Klinger does a nice job bringing it down, steps into the punt. It's in the direction of Burkowski. He's going to get out of the way. Takes a beautiful Panther bounce again all the way down to the 15-yard line. So with 9:09 left in the second quarter, the Red Tornadoes are on top 13-0, and they'll have a 1st and 10 from their own 15.
Yeah, and what I think the Red Tornadoes need to do to kind of continue to move the ball as they did on the last drive, but also to finish is, I mean, obviously this is pretty good advice for any team that wants to move the ball successfully, is stay on schedule, not get into these long yard situations. When they were in that 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and then a 4th and 8 or 4th and 9 there, it's a tough situation to be in, so they need to stay on schedule here.
So the Red Tornadoes are going to come out to the ball. Going to have Will split out to the left, Chapman split out to the right. Reich's going to take the snap, and he's going to look Chapman's way the entire time. Chapman makes a nice catch, but a better tackle on that one's made by 29, Klinger. And Chapman will only pick up 5.
Yeah, very good tackle there by Gage Klinger out there, and good thing that he was able to come up with a clean tackle there, because he was out there on an island, you know, by himself. If Chapman would have been able to get away, he had a lot of running room.
And give Klinger credit, he's given up 9 inches and about 50 pounds in that matchup, and he's doing a great job out there in single coverage all night.
Oh, yeah.
Same look for the Red Tornadoes. Wills is going to get as far out to the wide side of the field as he can. Reisinger's going to look that way. He's under a lot of pressure. He's going to make one guy miss. He rolls. He's going to throw it as far as he can. He's got Widener wide open in the middle of the field, and Widener's going to be crushed It's incomplete. He took it from both sides.
Yeah, Widener took a big hit. It almost looked like that was a helmet hit. I'm surprised there wasn't a flag thrown on that because it looked like there was they were headhunting there. But as you said, took a big hit and couldn't really haul that one in.
So there was the single coverage to the boundaries on both sides, the left hand on the Mount Carmel side of the field and the Panther side of the field, and Widener was in the middle, and 88 Hawk was just out there playing free. He was playing center field essentially, Dan.
Yeah. And Reisinger kind of threw that one up there and took just a little bit too long to get to Widener.
So on 3rd and 5, the Red Tornadoes are going to go back to a more traditional look for them. They're going to pitch it to Ayers. Ayers he's got to pick his way, but he's going to be stopped short. And another great stand by the Panther defense as Ayers is going to be out to the 23-yard line, about 2 yards short. So it'll be 4th and 2 here. And for the first time tonight, Coach Dara is going to send out the punting unit.
Yeah, and this is a good decision by Coach Dara. Jim, I expect to see the Red Tornadoes go back to their traditional bread and butter from the jump next drive. That's just what I'm expecting to see.
It's Hawk and Klinger back deep for the Panthers. Ayers will be doing the punting for Mount Carmel. It's a low end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce. It's going to get a good bounce. Hawk is going to take it at the 39-yard line, and he makes 2 Red Tornadoes miss, and he's got a little bit of room. He'll get across the 50.
And there's a late flag.
There's going to be a flag thrown in from across the field. I think that flag traveled further than the punt.
Yeah.
We'll see exactly what the call is going to be. Mount Carmel's seen their fair share of flags on punt returns this season, so we'll see if this one will bite the Panthers.
Yeah, we'll see. It looked like number 21, Reed Witkowski, did get up afterwards and kind of was looking for a flag somewhere, and he must have thought he got blocked in the back.
And that'll be a block in the back. So before the penalty, the Panthers were set up to start the drive at the Red Tornado 48. When they spot the ball, it'll really only be 10 yards. It'll be 10 yards from that spot. Yep. So not as bad as some of them we've seen.
Right.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the 42.
Yeah, so this is some pretty good starting position for the Panthers. And again, we'll see if they can do something with it. They're going to have to give Howell a little bit more time in the pocket if they want to move the ball.
So they go back to their base set as well, and Howell's going to take this, and he's going to turn around and hand it right to Klinger, and Klinger stumbles a little bit, and that's all the Red Tornadoes need to get up on top of the play. Say that the ball does come out, but they'll mark Klinger down right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it was a good job by the Red Tornado defense to snuff that one out. As you said, it looked like Klinger somewhat stumbled a little bit when he initially took the handoff, and that stopped his momentum and did not allow him to get moving at all, and gave the Red Tornadoes a good opportunity to get in there and push him backwards.
7 minutes and counting here at Redmond Stadium in Bloomsburg University. The Red Tornadoes on top 13-0 against the Panthers. Howell's going to put Klinger in motion, and he's going to hand it to Gage Klinger, and Gage is going to get up across the 45. They'll give him the 46-yard line, so we'll be looking at a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, it was a nice little inside trap play there. It looked like Howell looked like a read option play where Howell had the opportunity to pull that ball out if Klinger didn't have an opening, but he made the right decision, and Klinger was able to pick up a few yards.
So 2 Klingers in the Panthers backfield if you haven't figured that one out just yet. Gage is more often than not the ball carrier. He's directly behind Howell on just about every play except this one where the Panthers are going to go 5 wide, and it's going to be a little bubble screen. They're going to try to get it to 23. That's Cade Klinger. Excuse me, not Cade Klinger. That's Aiden Klinger. He's going to be hit hard out of bounds right at the 47-yard line, so it'll be 4th. Check that, though. Did get up a little bit further. He got to midfield, so it's 4th and 2. And now the Bloomsburg sideline has a choice to make.
Yeah, and I think with the way that they've, never mind, they made the decision for me. I was about to say with the way that they've moved the ball with a little bit of success on this drive, you see maybe they try and continue that momentum, but they are going to punt it.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes not necessarily buying it. Well, I guess they are. At one point it was just Burkowski back, but now they send Widener back too, so 30. Cade Klinger on to punt again. It's a good snap. He's got a little bit of room that time, and it's end over end. It's a short punt. Burkowski's going to call for the fair catch. at the 27. So the Red Tornadoes will start there.
Yeah, so we'll see. As I said, I think what Coach Dara is going to do here is you're going to see the Red Tornadoes come out, bread and butter, shotgun wing, and run the ball and try and move the ball downfield, running the ball. Obviously, we've seen a lot of Reisinger throwing the ball, putting the ball in the air with success. But I think to move the ball against these Panthers, they're going to have to establish a run game before they can start putting it in the air.
So Mount Carmel's going to come out tight. They're shotgun double wing tight with two tight ends, Chapman and Wills. Daukus and Widener in the wing. Ayers is going to come in motion. Reisinger's going to keep it. He fakes the pitch, and he keeps it right up the middle. But they're going to stand him up and tee off on him, as is often the case in those situations. Forward progress will get Reisinger out close to the 30. So we'll call it a gain of 3.
Yeah, it looked like he, initially I thought that he had picked up at least, 4 or 5 on that run. But like you said, they stacked him up pretty quick there, and it was only a very short gain.
So Coach Dara is calling. Coach Dara must have been paying a lot of attention to the younger guys in the last couple weeks, because that's a play we typically only see the second quarterback, Julian Steller, run.
Right.
But in this case, Coach Dara is actually going to take Reisinger out. Ayers is in there, but they do the snap to the up back anyway. It's Daukus again. He's across the 35, very close to a first down.
I think it will be enough.
Yeah, they're going to move those sticks, so it'll be first down Mount Carmel. And it seems like it's the first down they've picked up in a few drives.
Yeah, and as you see Reisinger come back in, that's interesting. Usually you see Ayers go back there in the Wildcat to get the ball directly into his hands, and they didn't even put it in his hands.
So the Red Tornadoes going out of the tight shotgun, doubling again. Reisinger this time, he's going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to make a move. Ayers has some room. He's across midfield. Won't get much further than that. It'll be 48. They'll mark him down. And Dan, I think that's probably enough that we can go ahead and dole out a little bit of congratulations to the young man.
Yeah. So basically, what we just saw, if that does give them enough, is on that first down run by John Ayers, puts him over 1,000 yards in the season. He will be the 7th Red Tornado player to do it twice in his career, and we will get back to the other 6 guys when we get back.
It's going to be Ayers in motion, but this time it's going to be a decoy. They'll hand it to Widener. Widener picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
So the other 6 guys, and as we said, he is bringing himself into some great company. We have Veach, Diminick, Lamb, Litkavage, and Niglio. So the most recent of those 6 would be Myrick Lamb, who I actually had the opportunity to play with when I was younger, and was a great running back. So that's very good company for Ayers to be in.
Indeed it is, and again, he goes over the 300 points, over 1,000 yards. Now the only thing left is to get a victory here.
Yes.
So Reisinger's going to roll out to his left, and he's under a lot of pressure. Somehow he gets out of the first attack. The initial pressure was put on by number 8, Cooper Thrush, but Reisinger evades it and completes a pass for about 4 yards.
Wow, that was unbelievable. I mean, Reisinger was hit by Thrush, stumbled, threw that ball on his way down, and Daukus made a very good catch, turning around, the throw was behind him, and getting upfield for a short gain. So great job offensively there.
3:42 left in the second quarter. The Red Tornadoes facing a 3rd and 4 on the 41. Reisinger's going to take the snap and roll out. But it's a throwback to Ayers, and Ayers has a lot of blockers in front of him. He's got one guy that can stop him. Ayers sets up the block, but he's going to be run down all the way down to the 5-yard line. A great play by number 5, Owen Lewis, a guy we haven't got to talk about yet, but we will talk about as the night goes on. Yeah,
as you said, Owen Lewis running that play down, making that tackle. Owen Lewis coming into this game had 103 tackles, Jim. That's unheard of. It's impressive to have 103 in a whole season. He did it in 8 games.
So it'll be a 36-yard pitch and catch from Reisinger to Ayers. But again, Ayers doing most of that damage himself. He had a lot of white jerseys in front of him, so nice team effort for the Red Tornadoes. And this time, Cricky's in there for Ayers, but they're going to hand it to Widener on the inside. The inside Sally handoff. He's not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, very short gain, if any, there for Widener.
Yeah, they'll give him back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 4. And Dan, we've seen this now. The Red Tornadoes have been driving the last couple of drives, but they haven't been able to finish them.
Yeah, and they're going to have to figure out some way to put the ball in the end zone because being up only 2 scores to a tough team like the Panthers is not a good position to be in.
This time they'll take the snap and they'll give it to Kricki, and Kricki is going to do just that for the Red Tornadoes. He's going to finish off that drive. It'll be a 4-yard rush, and with 2:38 left, the Red Tornadoes are on top 19-0.
And that's exactly what we just spoke about, Jim. You got to find some way to mix things up a little bit. And as you saw, removing Ayers, bringing in Kricki, and Kricki able to get himself into the end zone for that touchdown. You know, just switching up some personnel gets the job done.
Stellar on to kick his 3rd extra point of the night. Tyler Owens once again on the hold. So we'll get a good snap, a great snap actually. It's a perfect hold. The kick is up and it is down the middle. So with 2:38 left here in the 2nd quarter at Redmond Stadium in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, the visiting Red Tornadoes are on top 20-0.
And as I spoke about prior to this scoring drive, that's kind of what the Red Tornadoes did was what I kind of thought that Coach Dara would do. Came back out, bread and butter in that tight, you know, shotgun wing, went with the ground game, and even that throwback screen, that's kind of like a bread and butter play. They've been running this play for years, and getting away from the long down the field passes and getting back to what they do best and having success with doing it.
Yeah, we've seen the Red Tornadoes do something similar to that a few times this season. Not just the plays, but the scheme in general. It's one thing sets up the next. It's chess versus checkers. That all that kind of stuff goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But with Mount Carmel, I just think back to the pass to Widener. While it was unfortunate that it fell incomplete, it really served to kind of take the top off the defense a little bit and let the Panthers know Mount Carmel was looking to put the ball down the field.
Yeah, and then every time Reisinger drops back, you got safeties bailing out.
So Chapman's going to kick, and he's going to kick it down. Hunter Coulter, number 4, he's going to be in there for the first time tonight. He's going to try to get to the sideline. He makes a couple guys miss. It's a good return. He's going to be shoved out of bounds at the 34-yard line. So that's where the Panthers will start.
Yeah, good return there by Coulter. Good job by Chapman getting down there and being able to kind of flow to the ball and push Coulter out of bounds, because as you said, he was able to make a few guys miss, stick his foot in the ground to stay in bounds, and get, it looked like maybe 7-8 extra yards there, so good return. Yeah,
Coulter's dealing with some injuries here. He's actually the Panthers' leading rusher, but again, we've seen Gage Klinger for the most part tonight. Coulter's 400 yards on the season, and Klinger's at 130 coming into the night. He certainly has added to that so far. There's a little confusion in the backfield there. Not going to be able to give it to Klinger.
And a late flag comes in here again.
Yeah, that's another dead ball foul against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, so we'll see what the call is.
Yep, so the play as it stands, it'll be a gain of it'll be minimal gain. It'll be a personal foul against the Red Tornadoes. It'll be 15 yards.
Yeah, and this has happened again. This is the second week in a row that we get a personal foul call, but no specification on what the penalty was.
Yeah, that one occurred right in front of the official, though. I think the only reason that the flag looked late at all is that, from what I could see, the official had a difficulty getting the flag out of his pocket.
Oh yeah, that's
So the Panthers come out now. They have Hawk split out to the left, and Hall's gonna look that way, and he's got a one-on-one coverage, and he's gonna get behind the Red Tornadoes. Tyler Owens is gonna be able to push him out of bounds. No, I'm gonna check that. Tyler Owens does not push him out of bounds. Hawk actually steps out of bounds at the 12-yard line. So
yeah.
Great pitch and catch there.
Yeah, very good job by Hawk to kind of get some separation from Owens there. It looked like they were tied up, and he was able to get a little bit of separation from Owens, just enough to get that ball into his hands and make a big play out of it.
Yep, so it'll be first and 10 from the 12. Howell's going to send Klinger in motion. He's going to roll out that way. He's going to throw it to him. It's a little high. He makes a nice one-handed catch, but he's going to have to go to the turf fairly quickly there. He'll be down at the 10-yard line. So with 1:50 and counting, the Panthers looking to try to get something on the board here before the end of the half.
Yeah, that was a very nice catch there by Klinger. Just kind of threw his one hand up there and reeled it in. So good job. But again, as you said, Panthers threatening here.
So we'll see what they dial up at this point. Again, 2nd and about 6 from the 10. They're going to split out. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Howell's got Klinger behind him. He's going to bring Malatesta in motion. There's going to be an illegal motion against the Panthers.
Yep.
So that'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll take him back to the 15. So it'll go from a 2nd and 7 to a 2nd and 12.
And the Panthers right up on the ball here.
But again, it's going to be Hawk and Malatesta split out to the right, and it's Gazevich and Klinger to the left. And Howell's going to hand it up the middle to Klinger, and Klinger's going to be down near the 5-yard line. So that's an interesting little wrinkle, Dan.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever seen a play run like that. Howell looked like he was ready to roll out to his left and stopped on the other side of Klinger and just kind of put it in his stomach. And because of the action, it cleared out the middle of the field for Klinger to get a nice pickup.
Yeah, it's an interesting play call there, but it certainly worked. The Panthers, again, are in 4 wide. They're bringing Malatesta in motion all the way across the formation, and they're going to hand it to Klinger again. And this time he's going to go down, but the ball is out. Yeah. The ball is out, and the Red Tornadoes have it. And the Red Tornadoes have forced and recovered a fumble inside the 10-yard line with 30 seconds left in the half.
And that is a humongous play for the Red Tornado defense to be able to stand tall, backed up with their backs against the wall and force that turnover. That is a huge play. And we'll see if Coach Dara wants to try and take the top off here and put another score up, or if he wants to just take this 20-point lead into the halftime.
And he's got a good amount of distance between the Red Tornadoes and any points here. So we'll see, but Reisinger is going to throw it. He's going to look across the field. He's got Chapman, and Chapman's got some room. Chapman's across the 30, cuts across the field. Now he's across the 40. Chapman is out to about the 44-yard line. And the clock will stop on the first down. We'll see if the Red Tornadoes look to burn their first time out of the half.
And, you know, we talk about Chapman being such a sure-handed, big receiver, but there he was a little fleet of foot there too, was able to cut back across the field and get some extra yardage. So that was a really good job.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes will take their first time out, so 24 seconds left here in the first half, and a 1st and 10 on their own 44. They'll see exactly what they want to do here, how they want to end the first half. Yeah. If you're not sure what you want to do, especially for dinner, you can always head to Hollywood Pizza and Bakery in Mount Carmel, where you can get homemade foods prepared every day. So Dan, this is the second time we've seen Mount Carmel run that play that's essentially a Chapman. He's running a, whether you want to call it a cornfield or a drag or whatever you want to call it. And it's been pretty successful. Yeah,
it is successful, and I think the reason that play is successful is the same reason that the Bloomsburg Panther little run there to Klinger was so successful. It's the action. You know, you get everybody moving one way. Chapman kind of gets lost in the wash going back across the field.
There's a lot of excitement on the Red Tornado sideline as they were up on the ball well before the timeout ended. So they're going to come out in their same double tight formation. So again, this offensively never looks like a team that's going to go down the field. Ayers is in motion, but that's certainly what they're going to look to do. Reisinger, he throws it. He's got Ayers in a screen. There's some white jerseys, but there's a lot of red ones. So Ayers does a smart thing, and he's going to pick up what he can and then sneak out of bounds. He'll get to midfield. So with 16 seconds left, it'll be second and about 4 from the 49-yard line.
And that's the mentality and the leadership of a senior captain, seeing that, okay, I'm not going to get too much out of this. Instead of trying to put his head down and get 2 or 3 extra yards, he gets out of bounds, saves Coach Dara a timeout, and gets them back up on the ball for a 2nd and short.
Now this looks like an offensive set that's going to try to score some points here late. The Red Tornadoes are going to come out 4 wide. Reisinger's in the gun. He's got Ayers to his left, 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. He's going to go straight back. He's got all kinds of time. He's going to throw it as far as he can in the direction of Chapman, and Chapman's going to come back for the ball and almost catches it. A lot of great coverage there by the Panthers, but it does fall incomplete.
Yeah, and again, you see the height and size difference between Chapman and Klinger, Gage Klinger, and Chapman went up over top of them and almost was able to reel that ball in, but still very well defended there by the Panthers and by Klinger. So
that'll bring up third down. It'll be 3rd and 4, but that doesn't matter nearly as much as the 9 seconds left in this second quarter. Red Tornadoes are going to come out again. They'll have 4 wide. It's going to be Chapman and Widener to the right. It looks like we can see Daukus. We're going to get a timeout on the field. It's going to be the Panthers. They saw something they didn't like. We'll see what the Red Tornadoes do coming out of the timeout.
Yeah, and I believe that's exactly what happened. The Panthers defensive coordinator saw what the Red Tornadoes were bringing to the ball, saw what the Panthers had dialed up there, and didn't like what he saw, so made the right decision, burned one of their timeouts, and try and get something set up to counter this passing offense that, as you said, we don't normally see from the Red Tornadoes.
Yep. So we've talked about it a couple times this season. This is the 50th year that WKMC TV has been broadcasting. We want to give a big thank you to Service Electric Cablevision. Certainly it's a pleasure and it's an honor that they continue to broadcast this week in and week out with not just football games, but a lot of things that the TV studio is putting on. And we certainly thank all of you out there listening, and when you're watching on Wednesday nights, we appreciate your continued support. So the Red Tornadoes are back at it now. It's not 4 wide this time, it's just 2. Chapman way to the right. It's going to be Wills split out to the left. Reisinger's going straight back. He's looking in Wills' direction, but there's a screen in the middle of the field. It's going to be Widener, and Widener's got a lot of room. He's got some guys. He puts his head down. He's going to run through one tackler. He'll get to the 30-yard line, and we'll see. The buzzer has run out, but we're going to see if the Red Tornadoes got him. The referees are waving it that nobody should leave. The Red Tornadoes are going to signal that, the officials are signaling that the Red Tornadoes did get their timeout in time. They're going to put 1 second back on the clock here. So an interesting end to this half, Dan.
Yeah, very interesting end to the half there. As you said, big pickup by Widener, and they are going to have to throw 1 second back on the clock. And we'll see if, I'm assuming Reisinger's just going to throw this ball into the end zone.
We'll have to see what happens. There's still a little bit of confusion on the field. It looks like the Panthers sideline. We'll see if they then call the timeout as well. It's going to be the play when they put it in play. It's going to start at the 30-yard line. It'll be the Red Tornadoes again on top, 20-0 here at Redmond Stadium. There's 1 second left on the clock. It was a nice inside screen set up to Widener. Widener did everything he could to pick up all the yards that he could. He almost ran out of time, but all the officials seem to agree that the Red Tornadoes got their timeout with 1 second left on the clock. So even though the buzzer blew, they put that second back on the clock for us here at Redmond.
And it was a well-designed play there because you saw all of the Panthers D-backs bailing.
So this is it now. Mount Carmel's tight, and that makes sense. You see how close the Panthers are to the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring Widener in motion. They fake it. The clock's run out. And Widener's got behind the defense, and he's over, and he's going to make the catch, and he is in for a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. With no time on the clock, the Red Tornadoes score again. It's a 30-yard completion from Reisinger to Widener, and Mount Carmel is on top 26-0.
What an unbelievable play there by Reisinger. The beautiful throw to Widener. Widener did a great job backpedaling, pulling that ball in, and keeping himself in bounds. Well, that was just a very well-designed play.
And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention for the folks listening that the most important player on that play, I think, was Jack Chapman, because he took about 7 Panthers with him in the total opposite corner of the end zone and allowed Widener to sneak out and make the reception. So the Red Tornadoes looking to add this 27th point on, and they will. So that'll do it. That'll be the official end of the first half. And again, thanks to one of the most exciting finishes you're going to see in a half, the Red Tornadoes will head to to the locker room, or in this case, the Hill.
Yeah.
Proud owners of a 27-0 lead here at Redmond Stadium over the Bloomsburg Panthers. So we'll be back after halftime with stats and more to discuss. But while we're gone, sit back and listen to the Big Red Band. Hello and welcome back to Redmond Stadium, where the Red Tornadoes are on top of the Bloomsburg Panthers 27-0. We've got some stats to kind of paint a picture, because the 27-0 score is, it sounds more, I think it's, Dan, it sounds a little bit more outsized than what we witnessed in the first half.
Right, yeah, it definitely does. And these stats are courtesy of our friend down on the field, Jose Gonzalo. We've got, for Mount Carmel, 22 rushing attempts for 140 yards and 10 of 13 passing. We don't have a yardage total, but as Jimmy joked earlier here, at least 30 on that 30-yard passing touchdown to Widener before the half. For the Panthers, I'm sorry, Mount Carmel also has 12 first downs. For the Panthers, 13 rushing attempts for 5 yards and 5 of 9 passing for 35 and 4 first downs.
We just got a little bit of help up here, so thanks to our friends up in the booth, 171 through the air for the Red Tornadoes. So certainly a balanced attack at this point. But I think the one thing you take away from the first half, if you're the Panthers, is what could have been.
Yeah.
So we had the two big plays. One was the fumble, Klinger's fumble down inside the 10-yard line with about 35 seconds left in the first half that would have potentially brought the score from 20-0 to 20-6, 20-7, something in that ballpark.
Right.
And then, of course, the Red Tornadoes turn around, and not only do they get the big play to Chapman to bring him around midfield, and then Widener's play, where Widener takes the inside screen, and he gets down and gets a timeout called with 1 second left on the clock. Well, to be fair, there was no time left on the clock. Right. The officials instructed the operators to add a second, and then Widener winds up catching the touchdown.
Yeah, so that drive was a very exciting one to watch and to be a part of up here in the booth. As you said, you know, you're watching the play on the field, and as soon as the whistle's blown, you're looking at the clock to see how much time is left. And they did a great job. And actually, that passing touchdown for Reisinger puts him at 26 in his career and ties him with Tom Alexander at 8th place on the all-time list.
And I think he'll continue to climb, as we talk about Tom a lot, just a junior, so certainly have more opportunity to grow there. But yeah, so that the last 35 seconds of the first half wound up being about a 13 to 14 point swing, depending on how you feel about Bloomsburg's opportunity there with the extra point. So at least 13 points.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's tough for the Panthers to swallow. They're probably going to come back out trying to duplicate that drive, but different ending. Yeah,
they'll have to get a stop first, as they'll be kicking off. That's number 11, Tanner Torsten Hartman. He's going to kick it down. It's going to be Karicki, was inside the 5, and he makes a couple guys miss. It's a nice return out across the 30. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, that's a beautiful return there by Karicki from starting at his own, inside the 5-yard line and bringing that out past the 30. That's a very good return, and a good job by the kick return team to set up a few blocks there and get him some room.
We'll see how Coach Darrow wants to approach this first drive of the second half. Again, they've shown multiple variations tonight. They've stayed tight. They've gone wide, but I think we'll see them stay tight, and they will. So Reisinger's going to be in the gun with Ayers to his left. He'll have Daukus and Widener in the wing, and Chapman and Wills are the tight ends. It's going to be a handoff to Ayers, and Ayers is going to go right up the middle. He's going to get across the 40. It'll mark him down at the 44. It'll be pickup of 10, very close to the first down. They'll say 9.5.
Yeah, and another good run there by Ayers. As we said, he eclipsed some very, very impressive milestones in the first half. And you talked about them coming out tight. I think they're having more success throughout this game so far being tight.
Different play, same look out of the Tornadoes. Reisinger sends Ayers in motion, and he fakes the pitch, and he goes up the field. He's going to be hit a couple times pretty hard, but he picks up the yardage. He gets across the 46.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a flag on the play. There'll be a flag against the Panthers, and it looks like we may have an ejection here, Dan.
Yeah, that's definitely what it looks like here. Unsportsmanlike conduct. And an ejection. Yep.
Well, there's something we haven't seen yet this season. We've seen a lot a lot in chipping games, but we haven't seen it rise to that level yet.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to see what had happened, but in a situation like that, that's normally where you know, a punch thrown or something along those lines. But okay, it's a very tough call there, but the correct call by the official.
Yep, so we're going to have number 22, Mason Lunger. He's going to be in. He's going to go in for the Panther that's going to be prohibited from participating any further tonight. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty as well. First and 10 from the Red Tornadoes from the 39. Same look. It'll be a handoff to Ayers. And Ayers is in a lot of trouble. The ball is stripped out, and it's going to be first and 10 as it's recovered by the Panthers. What a great play by number 30, Cade Klinger. Yeah,
Cade Klinger got in there, kind of got on Ayers' back and was able to rip that ball loose. And as you said, very, very good play by Klinger. Tough one by Ayers there, was trying to pick his way through and just didn't feel Klinger getting on his back there and ripping at the ball. But we'll see what the Mount Carmel defense can do, and maybe the Panthers can see some momentum here. 4 wide
for the Panthers. Howell's in the pistol with Klinger behind him, and he's going to take the snap and look immediately to his left, and the ball pops out. It's going to be an incomplete pass. The arm was moving forward, but it didn't look like he was under any kind of duress. There were some Red Tornadoes in the area.
And that's a very good job by the Red Tornadoes. Just, it looked like it might have been Hood. It did look like it came from the left side. He just got a hand on the ball or on Howell's arm and was able to knock that ball loose. So it was luckily Howell was in the throwing motion, and it didn't turn into a turnover on the following play after the turnover.
So the Panthers are going to send Hawk and Malatesta. Oh, check that. Malatesta will stay tight in the wing. Hawk's going to go out to the right on his own. But Malatesta comes across the formation. They're going to throw it to Hawk on a hard slant. It's a little bit low, but he does a nice job making the reception at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, did a very nice job of keeping that ball off the turf. It looked like it was a difficult catch to make, but a very good job there.
So it'll be 3rd and about 5 here for the Panthers. 10:32 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. The Red Tornadoes on top, 27-0. This time the Panthers will spread out again. 2 receivers split out right, 2 receivers split out left. Howell's in the pistol. He's going to take it, and it's a quick look out in the direction of Wilson or Lewis. Check that, but it's high and incomplete.
Yeah, well defended there by Karicki. And again, Howell under a ton of pressure as he has been. Anytime he doesn't get the ball out and really one-step drops, he's been under a lot of pressure. So the Red Tornadoes are going to continue to bring that pressure because they've been successful getting to him.
So it'll be 4th and 4, maybe 5 here. Panthers will look to punt. The ball's on their own 46-yard line. Klinger's back. The Red Tornadoes are going to send Pupo and Burkowski back to receive it.
And I like what the Red Tornadoes are doing by keeping a lot of guys on the line, because Owen Lewis is a very athletic player at the up-back position there.
We're going to have a little motion there. It's going to be against the Panthers, so that 4th and 4 is going to turn into a 4th and 9. They'll just reset the punt formation here.
Yeah,
there'll be a couple personnel changes, but now whatever may have been on is certainly not on anymore. They changed the formation a bit.
Right.
It's going to be a snap to Klinger. It's a high snap. It's a short punt. It's high. Burkowski's moving through. And there is a lot of activity going on in the field. It's going to be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and it looked like what the activity going on was maybe looked like somebody had bumped into Burkowski after the fair catch, and then maybe a Panther defender wasn't aware of the fair catch. You know, whistle wasn't blown right away, whatever. But you know, no harm, no foul here. So the Red Tornadoes are going to take over. We'll see. Hopefully, they can continue to move the ball as they did on the last drive.
They're going to tighten up again. So Ayers to the left, Daukus and Widener to the right. Chapman and Wills are in the tight end formation. Referees are going to set the ball. They're working to get to their spots. So we've got 10:07 left. Mount Carmel's second drive of the second half is about to start. It's going to start with Widener in motion, but it's going to be a fake handoff. It'll be a pass complete to Logan Wills down the left side. He'll be all the way down to the 42-yard line of the Panthers. It'll be a pickup of 21.
And you know, Wills out there, again, in his number 4 jersey this week, at the tight end spot, as we talked about throughout the game. Wills loves playing this tight end spot. He'd much rather be at the tight end spot. He plays tackle because it's something that coach has asked him to do, and he's a great team player, but loves being able to get the ball thrown to him, and like to see him have success doing it out there.
Red Tornadoes back up on the ball, same look. Ayers scans the defense and sends, Reisinger scans the defense, sends Ayers in motion. He's off the right side. He's got some blockers in front of him. He's going to be out of bounds around the 30-yard line. Pick up a first down at that point.
Yeah, cut down on the sideline there, but as you said, another first down pickup.
So we'll see exactly where they spot the ball. It's always a little hazy down there on the sideline, especially as the teams crowd around the boundary. It's hard to see exactly where he steps out, but it will be, the nose of the football will be on the 30-yard line. Mount Carmel's going to come out again, the same look. They're not looking to do anything different. This time it's going to be Karicki instead of Ayers, and Karicki goes in motion to the left. He's going to take the pitch. He's got some blockers in front of him. He's picking his route, and he's across the 20 down to the 15-yard line, where it'll be another Red Tornado first down.
Yeah, and that's a good, tough run there by Karicki, as you said, kind of picking his way through there. Was able to find that cutback lane, make a couple guys miss, and get another Red Tornado first down.
So now, Mount Carmel inside the 15, or check that, at the 15. A few times tonight, they've been down in this area of the field. They haven't come away with points each and every time. Certainly, they'll look to do that here.
Yeah, and these are the parts of the field where you need to come away with points.
Same look for Mount Carmel. Widener's coming across the formation. It's going to be a fake. Reisinger's rolling out to his right. He's looking for a receiver. He's not finding anybody. He stops and he throws it across the field. He's got Logan Wills, and he's going to make the reception. 15-yard pitch and catch from Reisinger to Wills, and that's going to give Reisinger sole possession of 8th place all-time passing touchdowns at Mount Carmel, and it's 33-0 Red Tornadoes.
And again, for Reisinger, that was the second time this game where he has had a Panther defender on his ankles or wrapped around his legs and was still able to complete a pass. This time for a touchdown to Logan Wills. I think that was Wills' first touchdown reception on the season as well.
So here are the Red Tornadoes you're going to see, and they're going to come out and they're going to go for 2 for no reason other than to try to get this to 35 and get that clock running here. So it'll be Reisinger in the gun with Karicki to his left, Daukus and Widener to the right. Karicki comes in motion. They're going to pitch it to him. It's a little bit out in front of him, but Karicki does a nice job trying to get upfield. He doesn't. He stops short. Nice play by number 30, Cade Klinger.
Yeah, very good play there by Klinger to get the stop there, and as you said, keep the clock from running continuously.
So it's another fun game, whether you're whether you're watching us on Wednesday nights, whether it's listening right now. The listeners, you guys do a lot for us, so we're here to give a little something back. We've talked all season about it being WKMC TV's 50th anniversary, and so in honor of that, we're going to have a little 50th anniversary contest, Dan. So all you out there listening, feel free. You can visit any of our sponsors, including Archie Shoe Store, Academy Sports Center, Community Pharmacy, Family Home Medical, Hollywood Pizza, K&S Music, UMB Bank, and Verano Insurance. Visit any of those, and you'll find a little trivia question, or I'm sorry, a little piece of paper and a little basket. We'll be able to, if you can answer this trivia question that I'll give you here in a minute, you add your name and phone number to that paper, put it in a red box, not a basket, that's a red box, and you'll have a chance to win a $25 gift certificate at the sponsor of your choice. Yep, while we're there, so on that table, you're going to see the red box, you're going to see the paper and a display of pictures, WKMC TV, all kinds of great stuff over the last 50 years. So we're going to let Chapman kick off. We're going to come back with this question. So Chapman's kickoff, it's a low knuckler. Going to be taken on the far side by Klinger. Klinger's going to do what he can. It was a tough spot there for him to get anywhere, but there's another flag on this play. This is, once again, well behind the play. We'll see. They're going to mark the ball around the 27-yard line. And then where this penalty is going to point will dictate where the drive's going to start. It's a hotly contested game again, and these teams are certainly teams that may see each other in a couple weeks. It's going to be a dead ball personal foul against the Panthers, and there's going to be another flag on the play.
Yes, there is.
And this is going to be an interesting one. So this will be another dead ball foul against the Panthers, and this is the Panthers. They're trying to fire each other up. They're a little upset, and so they'll walk this off again. It'll be a half the distance and then another half the distance, I think, here, as all the activity was inside the 30. So while the refs sort this out, we're going to go ahead and give you that trivia question we promised. Again, visit our sponsors. You'll find a piece of paper on the table, a red box, and a cool assortment of pictures. And write down the answer to this trivia question. You need to name a WKMC-TV alumni who's currently a professor of communications at Clemson University. Again, name a WKMC-TV alumni who is currently a professor of communications at Clemson University. Head into any of the sponsors I mentioned. I'll mention them again later. Find the table that has a red box, some papers, and an assortment of pictures. Write down the answer with your name and phone number. Put the paper in the box, and you have a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to any of those sponsors. Whichever one you choose, it's your choice. Again, WKMC TV alumni who's currently a professor of communications at Clemson University. Now back to the matter at hand. They waved off the second flag against the Panthers, so it'll just be 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 14-yard line. 9:06 to go in the first half here. Now we're going to have another conversation between the officials.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is about the spot of the ball, maybe the time. I'm not sure if the clock ran off a little bit while the plays were being set up. It's an interesting
little conversation here amongst the officials. And they're going to get the ball in play. The officials will blow it ready. So the Panthers will come out with one receiver left, and they're going to turn around. Howell's going to turn around and hand it to Klinger. And Klinger's going to do his best to get some positive yardage. They'll give him forward progress at the 16, so it'll wind up being a gain of about 2.
Yeah, Klinger, as we said, not a very big guy. We have him listed here as, 5'5", 155 pounds, but real scrappy, really wiry, you know, kind of gets the ball and almost gets lost in that offensive line, and then you see him come out the other side.
Yeah, they've done a lot. There's a lot of misdirection that goes into this offense, and you know they've acquitted themselves very well thus far. But Howell's going to turn. He's going to take it. He's going to turn around and hand it to. That's going to be Cade Klinger, and Klinger's going to move forward, and the ball is out. Klinger picks up the first down. He got across the 35, and the ball came out, and the Red Tornadoes have it. Looked like 28, Shane Widener, that came out of the pile with the football. So just like that, the Red Tornadoes will be back on the attack.
Yeah, very nice little run there by Klinger, but as you said, ball kind of popped out. Looked like it. Somebody was a Red Tornado defender was able to punch that ball out as Klinger was going to the ground. And as you said, Widener coming up with it there. So that's another big momentum swing. That was going to be a first down run for the Panthers, and it turns into a turnover and puts the ball back in the Red Tornadoes' hands.
So 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes at 29, 8:18 remaining in the third quarter. Red Tornadoes on top, 33-0. The offense is going to spread it out a little bit. Chapman split out right. Wills to the left. Reisinger's going to go straight back, but he finds Widener in the flat. Widener is going to be across the 25, thrown down at the 27.
Yeah, good. Nice little completion there out to Widener. Not a huge gain, but again, this is what Reisinger likes, and this is what Coach Dara likes to do. You know, get these guys out, kind of have them hot, hidden, and he was wide open. There's nobody around him, so wide open in the flat, easy completion for Reisinger, and then you're getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers.
Nice 6-yard completion there. Mount Carmel back at it. the tight shotgun double wing tight formation. Again, Widener comes across. They're going to hand it to him this time. He's got Ayers out in front of him. He cuts up behind Ayers. He's across the 10. He's down to the 5-yard line. And that's where they'll mark him at the 5. It'll be first and goal for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, and as you said, with Ayers out in front of Widener there, did a really nice job because that looked like he tried to kind of turn the guy that he was blocking and wasn't able to, so shifted his hips and made the block out and gave Widener that cutback lane, which we see with these runs so often. They always get that cutback lane, and Widener fighting for extra yards there at the end.
Tight set once again from Mount Carmel. Daukus and Widener to the right. Ayers is in there to the left. He's going to take the handoff, and he makes one guy miss, and he's across the goal line, and he's in. And with 7:15 left, thanks to a 5-yard rush by number 27, John Ayers, his second touchdown of the night, the Red Tornadoes are going to stretch the lead out to 39-0 here at Redmond Stadium.
Yeah, very nice little run there by Ayers. Did a good job kind of shifting around and putting his head down to get into the end zone there. And as you said, that's going to give Mount Carmel a 39-point lead. Stellar's going to try and make it 40 here. And this has been a big offensive game for the Red Tornadoes.
Well, at this point, it almost seems like you have to point out that, well, Dan, they're on the road. So,
yeah,
of course, they scored 40 points.
That's very true.
Really, the only game, and the kick is up by Stellar, and it's no good. He's going to miss that one. So it'll remain 40-0 Red Tornadoes. But, yeah, really, Dan, the only time this season they've gone on the road and not scored 40 points was when they scored 35 at Mifflinburg.
Yeah, and that was kind of one of those situations at Mifflinburg as well, where they put up 35 in the first half, and
I think you were dealing with field conditions that night as well, too, right?
Very, very poor field conditions. As Jose and I actually spoke with the Mifflinburg AD prior to the game, and he said that the field is usually in tremendous condition. It was just due to a week long of rain that kind of ruined messed the field up a little bit and made it tough running for really both sides of the ball.
So the Red Tornadoes, again, on top 39-0. I think I said 40 before. So it's 39. And while they didn't get the 2-point conversion to get the running clock on their last score, they only had to wait a couple minutes. And the Red Tornadoes are going to stretch that to 35 again. So from here on out, this clock will be moving. Chapman on to kick off again tonight. Be kicking deep to Russell and Klinger. And he's going to kick in Klinger's direction. It's going to be a knuckleball. It kind of died a little bit in the air. Klinger's going to try and come across the field. He's got a little bit of space. He's across the 30. And he's going to be drugged down by 24 Stellar at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Stellar did a really good job of running that play down. Give credit to Dylan Pupo on the outside here. He was the gunner on the Panthers sideline of the field and got downfield, saw Klinger beginning to reverse field and kind of just sat down where he was, forced Klinger inside to where his help was coming from. So good job by Dylan Pupo. I'll give him an assist on that tackle.
Yeah, this Mount Carmel, the special teams unit has been extremely impressive all season for the Red Tornadoes. We'll see how the defense fares this time. It looks like we've got a different quarterback for the Panthers there, so there's some changes all around. We'll start with the ball carrier. In that case was number 22, Mason Lunger, and he was hit way in the backfield. He'll lose about 4 yards, but the quarterback now is going to be, that's number 8, Cooper Thrush in there.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see some big-time substitutions here on the Mount Carmel side of the ball as well. I'll try and get the names as they come in, as we always do.
So Thrush is in the pistol. He's going to take it. He's going to hand this one to number, again, that's 28. It's Russell. And he's going to be hit in the backfield yet again.
Yeah, and looked like Burkowski and number 3, Tom Davitt, who has just subbed into the game. Looked like Tom Davitt in there as well on the tackle.
Yeah, 28's Russell King. Apologies to that young man. Russell King is his last name. So it'll be 3rd and 13 from the 35 for the Panthers.
Yeah, we see, as we said, try and get some of these substitutions in there. Davitt's in there. Looks like Jacob Reese, number 2, at a safety spot.
Thrush brings the offense to the line. He's going to take the snap, and it's an inside handoff to Russell King, and he doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with over there, doing his best he can to make something out of nothing. He'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 4th and 14.
Yeah, and the way that they set that play up there to Russell King looks like almost like a play that we used to run it back in the day, I should say. It was called a rock and roll trap, where the quarterback spins completely around and hands it off.
Okay.
And it designed well and usually works out. Very good for misdirection. You never know who has the ball on that play.
So the Panthers are going to punt. It's Cade Klinger. It's a nice snap and a good punt. He's going to get this one down to Pupo. And Pupo's going to have a little bit of a return on. He's coming across the field, and he goes back into the middle, and he cuts all the way across the defense. He can't be brought down. He makes a lot of guys miss. When he is finally stopped, it'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the Panther 47-yard line.
And that's a very nice return there by Pupo. It looked like the initial guy that got down there thought that Burkowski had the ball, and Pupo was able to sneak out and get away. Had a few yards untouched, and then made a ton of guys miss. It was a great return.
So it'll be a timeout on the field. It's going to be a Panthers timeout, and again, I think this is a nice job by the Bloomsburg coaching staff. They're trying to set their defense. We see it every week at this point, which is, credit to the Red Tornadoes that they're in this position as often as they are. But there's always a little bit of confusion when you're trying to make these wholesale changes.
Yeah, there definitely is, and it's nice to get some of these starters a little breather, get them a break, get them out of the game. But as you said, always a little bit more difficult to getting the whole second team in there, the whole scout team in there.
Yep. So with 4:36 left in the third quarter, again, we're here at Redmond Stadium, and the Red Tornadoes are on top 39-0. We don't know where you are, whether it's Wednesday night or you're listening to us live, but we certainly appreciate you being out there. We're doing what we can to keep you involved. We've got our WKMC TV trivia. Again, what WKMC TV alumni is currently a professor of communications at Clemson University. And Dan, that's a perfect example that, Red Tornadoes, we travel well.
Yeah, we definitely do.
We're spread out all across the country. We see who's listening to us, who's streaming with us live on Friday nights, as we see Stellar take the snap, and he's going to fake the pitch and keep it himself out to the 40. But we see who's listening with us on Friday nights, who's watching us online. And we appreciate you, and we know you appreciate what we do. So here's another opportunity we're going to give you out here. So you enjoy listening to us. We enjoy having you as listeners. We've tried our best to get you to stay engaged. So at this point, we're going to incentivize it a little bit. So as we see Stellar hands the ball to Pupo. Pupo's down the left sideline, and Pupo's at the 10, and Pupo's in. It's going to be another Red Tornado touchdown on a 40-yard rush by number 32, Dylan Pupo. So that's going to be his first of the season. And a great bit of running there by the young man.
Yeah, very nice run there by Pupo. Did a good job, as you said, took the handoff from Stellar. And we always talk about it with that little inside Sally play, finding the gap. He found the hole, got upfield, and got down the sideline to the end zone.
But again, so the Red Tornadoes well on their way to their 8th win of the season, the 7th win of the season here. Certainly in a good position for the District 4 playoffs in second place at this point. And if you're enjoying us and you want to be able to hear us during the playoffs, again, we talked about this before, we can do a little incentivize here. We can help each other out. So at this point, we just want you to be listening. We appreciate you listening. We know you enjoy listening to us. As Stellar drills that extra point, it'll be 46-0 Red Tornadoes. So here's what we're gonna ask. So over the next couple weeks, if in your infinite kindness and wisdom choose to see fit, send a donation to the WKMC TV studio. You can do that by sending it to the school district, the Mount Carmel Area School District, in care of WKMC TV. If you do that, if you can send us a donation of $20 or greater, Dan and I will absolutely give you a shout out on the air here. We know you're listening. We know there are listeners all across the country. I'm not sure. We'll have to check with Mr. McPhee if we're international at all. I think we know that we are at some points, but we'll check and see how many countries, how many continents. But again, send us we are worldwide. You can send us a quick donation. That's essentially, again, we know that you enjoy listening to us, and we know that you're following this team from wherever you are. And so if you want to be able to keep up on what they're doing in the playoffs, specifically district playoffs and beyond, we're going to need a little bit of help. That's the whole point. Again, the district is going to charge the studio to stream it. It's rights, and we want to bring it to you. We just need a little bit of help. We need you to help us. We'll bring it to you. We get a nice run out of Russell King there across the 40-yard line. But again, send your donations to WKMC TV. Or I'm sorry, you can send it care of the Mount Carmel Area School District for WKMC TV. And if you send a donation of greater than $20, we will absolutely give you a shout out on the air. So be sure to do that, as well as visit the sponsors and answer our trivia question.
Yeah, and this is a very good thing that we, the school, the TV studio, WKMC TV, is able to put out every week. And as we said, we would love to continue to bring it to everyone internationally, worldwide, as we do now in the playoffs. So being able to, kind of send out in those donations, help us offset the cost a little bit, would be we would greatly appreciate it, I should say.
So on the field, we have, after the Red Tornado touchdown, Chapman's kickoff was returned by Russell King out across the 40. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 42 for the Panthers, but there is a Red Tornado down on the field being attended to by our trainers from Star Physical Therapy and Fitness. Again, Star certainly a valued sponsor. Star Physical Therapy and Fitness in Marion Heights, Pennsylvania. Rehabilitation and fitness training serving local sports teams and area residents. Athletic Director, Mr. Zakavich, makes his way out there, and just as soon as he does, the young man gets himself up, and he's going to be helped off the field. That's going to be number 16, Chase Fishburne.
Yeah, good to see him up and, getting a little help off the field, but looks like he's putting some weight on both of his legs. That's always good to see, so he's going to be all right.
So the Panthers, now the officials put the ball back in play. The Panthers come out in the 4-wide set. They're going to send Russell King across the formation, but Thrush is going to turn around and he's going to hand it to number 22, I believe. As we said before, yep, that's Mason Lunger, and he's got nowhere to go. He's in the backfield. Big loss there. It'll be about 7 yards.
Yeah, Damon Dalgas coming into the backfield and making a big hit there in the backfield for a very nice little loss for the Panthers.
I was watching the yard marker. I was a little bit wrong there, so it's actually going to be a loss of 5. And it's the same look. This time it'll be a quick pass out to Russell King, who's coming in motion, and he's hit hard by number 56, Connor Krakowski, for another loss on the play. This will be another 6 yards down to the 32.
Yeah, very nice job again there by Connor Krakowski on that play, getting in the backfield and again putting a big hit on a Panther running back there.
And at quarterback now, and was quarterback on that pass as well, it's actually number 7, Michael Wildham. So took over for Cooper Thrush. And on 3rd and 21, the Panthers are wide open, and Wildham throws it across the middle. It's a nice throw, a little high and behind his intended target, 15, Sean Frey. So it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, another good job there by the Red Tornado defense on the coverage. Getting a little bit of pressure on Wildham in the backfield there, and it is going to bring up another punting situation for the Panthers.
So we'll see if they're going to send Klinger out there. They do not. It's actually going to be number 3, Daniel Gazevich. He's going to do the punting here for the Panthers. The Red Tornadoes have 2 men back. It's going to be a nice punt. Popo's going to take that over his head at the 35. He's going to try to get a return. He makes a couple nice moves. Now he's across the field. He's in the open field. Popo's across the 50, the 40. It's a foot race. And he's at the 20, 10, and he's almost caught, but he's in. And it'll be a about a 65-yard punt return for a touchdown by number 32, Dylan Pupo, his second touchdown of the night, and the Red Tornadoes are rolling here 52-0.
Yeah, that's a great job by Pupo being able to make the first guy miss, cut it back all the way across the field and get to the sidelines and down the sideline. But great effort by, there's a Panther down on the field, and that's the Panther that put out the amazing effort to almost bring Pupo down before getting into the end zone. We'll get his name and his number once he's able to get up off the field here.
Yeah, that was, I had honestly, Dan, I was close to calling it a touchdown once Pupo got past the last, what I thought was the last defender around the 30-yard line or so, once he had kind of outrun the angle. But another Panther came from clear across the field, never gave up on the play. And if the end zone had been 3 or 4 yards further, he would have pulled Pupo down short.
Yeah, as you said, great effort play. Really never given up on that one. So hopefully everything's all right with him. We can see how he's doing once we get him up off the turf.
So here we are. Again, it's Friday night for us. For you, if you're watching us on Service Electric Cablevision, where we're in our 50th year of broadcasting, WKMC TV that is, it's Wednesday night for you, which means tomorrow's Thursday, and you can get yourself down to Supper Club. Last night at Supper Club, we honored the TV studio. Dan and I attended as well. It was a great time. It was actually the first time I've ever been at Supper Club, so it was a cool experience. And again, for those of you who don't know, Supper Club gives the community a chance to interact with different players, cheerleaders, and band members, as well as get some information from the coaching staff on the upcoming game. If any of that piques your interest, you'll want to make your way to the back room at Matucci's Willow Street Cafe in Mount Carmel at 6:15 p.m. every Thursday night of the football season for great food and great conversation.
Yeah, as you said, Jim, Supper Club, now, it was your first time ever attending. For me, it's been multiple times. You know, my 3 years playing for the varsity team, being able to go to Supper Club, you know, at least once a year, sometimes 2 or 3 times when we went in the playoffs. And as I got up towards my senior year, this season, out of 8 weeks, been there 7 of them. So it's been, I love going to Supper Club. And as you said, great food, great conversation. We get a chance to stop Coach Dara at the end. You know, when he wants to go home and get some sleep, we get to bother him, ask him for a little bit of information for us to use here at the game. So it's always nice to be out there and, you know, see good friends, see Jose Gonzalo, you know, get to see and meet and greet with some of these players that sometimes you don't always get an opportunity to see on and off the field.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity. I really enjoyed it last night, Dan. As we said, the conversation's great, the food is great. And really, I mean, for the Red Tornadoes this season, one of the things that's been great is not just their road record, but the facilities in which we've been able to play. Like we talked about it before, Christy Mathewson Stadium against when we played Bloomsburg Dragons, you get to go to Christy Mathewson Stadium. Now tonight against the Panthers, we're up here at Redmond Stadium on the campus of beautiful Bloomsburg University. So it's been, you know, it's been quite an experience.
Yeah.
But we're used to it, though, right? Playing in amazing facilities, of course. We've spent so many years at the Silver Bowl, whether as players, fans, what have you. And as the improvements continue at the Silver Bowl, and we continue to kind of create new things and new traditions, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Tornado Brick Project. Mm-hmm. So the Mount Carmel Area School District has begun a Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project at the Silver Bowl. The project will include a brick 6-foot by 6-foot water jet image of our Red Tornado logo in the center, and they're going to take the Bloomsburg Panther. They will get him just far enough off the field that we can continue play. So we'll keep an eye on that situation best we can. The Red Tornadoes are going to come back out on the ball. It'll be first and goal from, check that, we'll be attempting the PAT at this point as it's 52-0 Red Tornadoes with 58 seconds left in this one. Stellar's going to come on for the extra point. Owens will be on the hold. So we'll see if it stays at 52 or if it stretches just another point here. It's a good snap and a good hold, and Stellar's kick is up, and he drills that one. So it's going to be 53-0 Red Tornadoes. But again, as I was saying before, so Stellar kicks that into the south end zone. If you're at the Silver Bowl and you're in the south end zone, that's the site of the Tornado Brick Project. So if you've been there, you've already seen it. But again, it's a 6-foot by 6-foot water jet image, and the logo is going to be surrounded, and this is where you all get involved, our loyal listeners. It's going to be surrounded by 4-inch by 8-inch and 12 by 12-inch bricks, and all the proceeds are going to go to the general upkeep of the Silver Bowl Stadium, just as all those donations that you're going to send in are going to go to the maintenance costs associated with streaming the playoff games for you. So if you're interested in assisting the Tornado Brick Project, feel free to go ahead and contact the MCA Junior Senior High School Principal Office, the Athletic Office, District Office, or Jose Gonzalo at rxmanjag@gmail.com. And if you're interested in assisting the TV studio with bringing you the playoff games, make sure you send in your donations to the Mount Carmel Area School District and address them directly to WKMC TV. So now, with a 53-0 lead, the Red Tornadoes are kicking off, and they're going to be called for offsides.
I know. And it looked like Stellar was kicking off now instead of Chapman.
Yep, so it'll give Stellar an opportunity here. And again, if you want an opportunity to hear us in the while Mount Carmel goes to the district playoffs, or if you want an opportunity to add a brick to the Tornado Brick Project, make sure that you're sending those into the school district. That is at 600 West 5th Street in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, 17851. Stellar's kick is going to hit and drop. It's going to be picked up at the 35. Gazevich is returning that. He's going to get right to about the 36.
Yeah, and good little return there by Gazevich. It looked like he ran into his own player before a few Red Tornadoes were there to pick him or to make that tackle.
So, and I think just to take a step back from a couple plays, we'll get back to it at the start of the fourth quarter. The third quarter just ended. Again, we heard that horn here. It's 53-0 Mount Carmel as we move to the fourth quarter.
And we'll see what the Red Tornadoes have in store here with their second team. We'll see what the Panthers decide to do here with some of the reserves in, and see if the Panthers can get points on the board. You know, the Panthers are going to want to not get shut out, and the Red Tornadoes are going to want to keep that shutout. So we're going to see a tough battle here between the two reserve squads on both sides of the ball.
And towards the end of the third quarter, on Pupo's punt return for touchdown, we talked about the young man that certainly made his way all the way down the field, made an incredible effort, and then was down for a little bit after the play, but he is up. He's being driven around the sideline here in a golf cart. That's going to be number 22, Mason Lunger, so it's great to see him up, and we wish him all the best going forward. On the field, the Panthers are going to start their drive at the 37. They're going to hand the ball off to Russell King, and he will be stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it looked like Russell King looking for a face mask call there on number 76, Jared Stewart. But I think it's just the fact that Jared Stewart is so big. That was where he aimed for his tackle, was just up around the high on the shoulders there, but he didn't get the face mask.
2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line. 11:15 left in this one. Panthers are going to snap. It's going to be Wildham. He hands it to 29. I believe that's not going to be 29. We'll see exactly who that young man is. It is 29. It's going to be Gage Klinger on the carry. The ball did come out, but he falls on it. But it'll be a loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, got a nice little bounce there for Klinger. As you said, it looked like the ball came out, hit the ground, and bounced back up into his stomach as before he even hit the ground. So was able to get that ball back and retain possession.
So at this point, Dan, so the Red Tornadoes put another 53 up tonight. So that means through 5 games, And again, there's still 10.5 minutes left here, so you're never really sure what's going to happen. As the Panthers hand it off to Russell King, who's got some room on the sideline. He's down into Red Tornado territory. Does a great job of reading his blocks. It'll be 1st and 10 Panthers at the Mount Carmel 42.
Yeah, very good job there by Russell King, and this is exactly what we're seeing. What I spoke about, in between quarters there. We're going to try and see. The Panthers are saying, we're not going to go down easy. We're going to try and put some points on the board and put some pressure on this defense, as they're doing right there. Very nice run by Russell King. Good job by Reed Witkoski, though, in pursuit to make the tackle downfield.
So we'll see as the week goes on, Dan. We'll have to talk with Jose as the Panthers come out with 4 wide this time. Wildham goes straight back, and he throws it high for Russell King. As the week goes on, I have to ask him. At this point, through 5 games now, the Red Tornadoes have scored 230 points on the road. That has to be somewhere near one of the more impressive seasons the Red Tornadoes have had away from the Silver Bowl.
I have to agree with you 100% on that, Jim. I mean, I've played on some pretty good teams, and we've seen in our lifespan being from the area some very, very good teams go through here, but I don't think I've ever seen any teams that put up this many points on the road.
No, I mean, and we talk about it every week, and it gets to be a little bit redundant, I guess, but the Red Tornadoes, the fact that they continue to play this well on the road is really impressive, because you often have situations where it's hard for a high school team at times to leave school, right? The away games, it throws off your schedule anyway.
Yep. Because
you usually have your routine after school, but so maybe you're either leaving school early or you have a little more time to kill in between when school ends and when the game starts. And then you get on the bus, you have to drive to wherever it is, you have to get off the bus, you have to kind of somehow find a way to get into that rhythm and find that fire. And it doesn't happen all the time, but for the Red Tornadoes it has.
Yeah, and they've done a great job of it all year.
Panthers will run another play here. They're gonna hand it to number 24, Damon Rasmussen. Around the left side, he's gonna get across the 40, down to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, after the nice little run there by Rasmussen, but as we're talking about it, I think we do touch on it every week that we're on the road, but you got to give a lot of credit to this coaching staff to keep these guys' heads in the game. They get off the bus, sometimes you sleep on the bus ride, you're a little logy, you're tired. They get them up, and they're always ready to go right from the first play.
So on 4th down, Wildham's going to make a nice pitch and catch to number 82, Devin Yoakum. So that's freshman to freshman there. Nice sign of what's to come for the Panthers, and it'll be 1st down.
Yeah, that's a very nice sign of what's to come for the Panthers. It's great, nice little throw there, a little low, but did a great job of reeling that one in for the 1st down completion.
So 7:10 and counting left in this one. The Red Tornadoes on top of the Panthers here at Redmond Stadium, 53-0. But the Panthers are driving. Well, and the snap's going to be a little high for Wildham, and there's going to be a lot of Red Tornadoes in the area. We'll see if they came out of the pile with it, and they do. That's going to be number 76, Jared Stewart, senior, recovering the fumble there. So it'll, just like that, it'll be Red Tornado football, 1st and 10 at the 39.
Yeah, that's a really good job there by Jared Stewart of just getting himself into the backfield and having the wherewithal to get on that ball, noticing the ball on the ground, covering it up, and not letting anybody take it from him. Under those piles, there's a lot of clawing and grabbing and pulling and stuff that goes on at the bottom of those piles. Good job of Jared to kind of fall on that ball and smother it and not let anybody get it from him.
Panthers are going to take a timeout here with 6:56 left in this one. But again, we talk about the Red Tornadoes on the road. So now that this one seems to be fairly well in hand, we can start looking down the road again. And of course, next week is the game.
Yes.
It's the Coal Bucket against Shamokin at home. The Red Tornadoes currently at number 2, sitting at the number 2 seed in the district. So theoretically, can be at home for the next few weeks until they travel potentially to the number 1 seed Southern. Of course, if anybody knocks off Southern, then the Red Tornadoes stay home an extra week.
Right.
But at the worst, the Red Tornadoes are going to have to go on the road in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, and in about 3 weeks, it's going to be after this Bloomsburg game being the shortest road trip, that will be the shortest road trip if they travel to Southern Columbia, you know, in 3 weeks here.
And so the Red Tornadoes will come out. Stellar, he's going to take the snap and hand it to Tyler Owens. Tyler Owens will be across the 40, not up around the 45. It'll be the 44. He's 2nd and 6.
And gets a little stacked up there, but does a good job of kind of fighting forward to pick up a few. So that's a good job. And you know, we talk about the Panthers having, you know, good signs of things to come. We're able to talk about it almost every week with our Red Tornadoes, how talented these guys are and how much our skill guys, how much depth there is at that position.
Yep, and remember the Coal Bucket game next week, and then right in the district playoffs. If you enjoy listening to us, you want to see what's going on in those district games, we need your help. So please feel free to send those donations in to the Mount Carmel Area School District. That's 600 West 5th Street in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, 17851. That's strictly to help with the costs. That's just so that we can pay the maintenance fees and keep streaming this feed to you all wherever you are across the country and across the world. Again, nothing's free at this point, Dan, so we're going to see a handoff to Pupo. Pupo's going to show you nothing's free. It's going to be a bear to take him down. But again, all those donations are strictly to purchase the rights to share this amazing game with you and help you to keep following your team.
As Jim and I do every week, we love being up here. It's a great way for us to kind of round out our weeks as well. You know, being able to come back to our alma mater, be up here in the booth calling football games for our alma mater. It's a great thing, and we love to continue to do it for you guys and have you guys continue to be able to watch. So if you're able to, please get those donations in.
4:50 left in this one. Stellar's going to keep that himself, and Stellar's up the middle. He's across the 40. He's going to be dragged down at the 37-yard line. Again, 4:40 and counting. Running clock. Red Tornadoes on top, 53-0. If you're still with us, don't forget this week's trivia question. You need to name a WKMC-TV alumni who's currently a professor of communications at Clemson University. If you know that, get out to one of our many sponsors, including Archie Shoe Store, Academy Sports Center, Community Pharmacy, Family Home Medical, Hollywood Pizza, K&S Music, UNB Bank, and Verano Insurance. Find a table with the paper, the red box, and the pictures. Write your answer, your name, and your phone number, and put the paper in the box. If you're right and we pick you, you'll be eligible for a $25 gift card to the sponsor of your choice.
Yeah, I mean, if we weren't a part of this organization, I'd be getting myself out there to get that $25 gift card.
You don't know it.
Oh, all right, Jim. Well, getting off that subject here, Reed Wikoski does a very good job of handling that kind of wild snap there on the direct snap, and just retaining possession of the ball, although it was a short loss.
This time the Red Tornado, Stellar is going to hand it to number 45.
Michael Reed.
Michael Reed. Reed's going to do a nice job getting across the 30-yard line, or rather right to the 30-yard line, so it'll be pickup of 9, we'll call it. It'll be 3rd and 3 with 3:10 left in this one.
Yeah, and as this clock winds down, I don't think that the Red Tornadoes on the field or on the sidelines are content with a 53-0 victory. I think they're going to try and put another one in here.
We'll see what happens. It'll be a handoff to Reed, and this time Reed's going to be stacked up. First man on site is number 58. That is Chris Dodge, another freshman.
Yeah, and I don't think the Panthers are very want to give up another score here. So they're playing tough up the middle.
It's been an interesting thing, and of course, you know, there's two ways to look at this one. Of course, it's a 53-0 Red Tornado victory, and so it's always uncomfortable to be on the other side of that. But the Bloomsburg sideline, they're doing a great job of really seeing what they have and what the future looks like. And I mean, if we're being honest, Dan, it looks pretty bright.
Yes, it does. And you know, as we talked about pregame, the Panthers do not have a great history of success against the Red Tornadoes, but seeing the Red Tornadoes, yeah, as we said, kind of the reserves, the youth against the Panthers' youth, it looks like these are going to be some good games for years to come.
Yeah, you talked about the lifetime series of Mount Carmel versus Bloomsburg, and all credit goes to Jose Gonzalez for what I'm about to share with you. So the Red Tornadoes currently own a 12-1, soon-to-be 13-1 record against the Panthers. The first game was played back in 1960, and the only loss for the Red Tornadoes was a 6-0 score in 1961. So that's why we talked about at the outset, the Panthers were attempting to do something that hasn't been done in 60 years. And with a minute 20 left in this one and a 53-0 score, they'll have to wait at least one more year, or perhaps, Dan, a couple more weeks.
Yeah, perhaps. And there is a possibility, depending on where the Panthers end up in ranking, that they may be traveling to the Silver Bowl to face the Red Tornadoes here in a playoff game.
And the Red Tornadoes are facing a second down, and they're going to take the snap and hand it to Michael Reed. And he's close to the 20-yard line. We are now under a minute left in this one. Julian Stellers will walk to the sideline, get another play from Coach Darrett again. And we've talked about it week in and week out. The Red Tornadoes, this is an interesting offense when it gets so far ahead, because no matter what it does, it either needs to run the football, which it did to build this 50-point lead,
right,
or they need to throw it, which on paper kind of looks bad when you have a big lead.
Right. Yeah, it does. But sometimes that's kind of taking the foot off the pedal, is putting the ball in the air.
And the tough snap there, a little too hot for Stellar to handle. It pops up in the air, but he does a nice job of jumping back on top of that. And there's 10 seconds left, and the teams are retreating to their sidelines. That's going to be the last play of the game. We'll wait and hear. It's been nice to have a horn sound for us, Dan, to let us know. And there is that horn.
Yep.
So as the final buzzer rings, the Red Tornadoes are going to leave Redmond Stadium here on the campus of Bloomsburg University with a 53-0 victory over the Bloomsburg Panthers. Now, Dan, we talked a lot. You and I talked off air prior to the game that when you looked at it on paper, the Red Tornadoes had an opportunity to, by all accounts, they should have probably won tonight's game.
Correct.
I didn't expect them to do so in this fashion.
No, and this is somewhat of the same surprise that I have this week is what I had last week with South Williamsport. You know, as you said, on paper, these teams look like they match up fairly well against the Red Tornadoes. And as you said, you know, still think that that Mount Carmel is going to pull off the win, but you think it's going to be a tough game, a little bit of a closer game. But the Red Tornadoes, I believe in these past weeks, that they've been out to prove a point, and they've been out to kind of send a message to the rest of the district and say, listen, Mount Carmel is the team to beat in the district.
Well, I think I've been just as guilty of as anybody else. You've heard for weeks now. I mean, when Mount Carmel lost to Southern, they came back and got the big wins against Bloomsburg and went to Jersey Shore and got the victory. That, oh, Mount Carmel's the best one-loss team in the state.
Right.
And as we went forward, then, of course, Mount Carmel falls at the hands of North Schuylkill, and the conversation starts to become, well, yeah, but I think they're probably one of, if not the best, two-loss teams in the state. Right. And if they were in this class, they would have done this, and in this district, they would have done this. And that's all well and good, and it's it's nice to compliment the team and the kids. But the truth is, they don't view themselves as the best two-loss team in the state or the best one-loss team in the state.
No.
They think they're just as good as any team that they're going to encounter.
Yeah, I believe that they have 100% faith in themselves, and Coach Dara has as much faith in his team that they are able to beat anybody in the state. So they could be the best team in the state.
They continue to do a great job. Again, we talked about on the road. Now the benefits for the Red Tornadoes is they will be at home for the next few weeks. Again, certainly home next week against Shamokin for the regular season finale, the Coal Bucket game. Absolutely everybody get out there, support the team, make your way down to Matucci's at Supper Club on Thursday nights. There's going to be a bonfire in Coltmont after the Halloween parade Thursday night, so make your way down there as well and check out the game. And then after the Shamokin game, it'll be at least 1 week of home games, and, provided the Red Tornadoes keep doing what they're doing, they'll have a couple more ahead of them.
Yeah, definitely need to get the win next week against Shamokin, retain the coal bucket. I don't think any coaches, anybody else needs to get these guys fired up for that game. They know what is at stake for this game, and they, you can get fired up for the Shamokin and Southern game just on pure school spirit and pride. So I think they're going to be ready for Shamokin next week, and as you said, if they can get that victory, take that two seed in the district, have a couple home games in the district playoffs.
Yep, so again, that's next week. That's Shamokin. For us, it's a week from now. If you're watching us on Wednesday, it's 2 nights from there. But we are going to get out of here. So again, we are at Redmond Stadium, where the Red Tornadoes traveled to face the Bloomsburg Panthers. The Red Tornadoes came out on top, 53-0. So for Jose Gonzalo, I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
And we will catch you next week.